5, 4, 3, 2, 1. This is Deducter bringing you set 1 of day 3 of the Pro League playoffs between Woongjin Stars and Sansam Khan. In this game, which is the first set, we have Zero versus Jangbi. This is going to be a very exciting match on the Aztec. Zero is the Zerg player at 12 o'clock, white Zerg. Jangbi is the orange Protoss at the 8 o'clock. And this is going to be an exciting matchup. Jangbi doing very well these days, although he has been slipping a bit in the playoffs. I have not casted day 1 or day 2. Needless to say, Sansam Khan, I believe, won day 1 and Woongjin won day 2. Here, actually, it might be the other way around. It's the other way around. Woongjin won day 1 and Sansam Khan won day 2. This will be the deciding series. There was a very good PvP, by the way, Bridge versus Flying in day 2. And there we see a white guy there. Good for him. Anyway, Zero, one of the best players around. Jangbi seemingly back. I would say his slump is over. He's been playing very well, although he has actually lost twice in a row, I believe, in the Pro League playoffs. So certainly Jangbi's performance is, there is something to be desired here in terms of his performance. Looks like both players are going to scout in the correct direction. Zero with his Overlord and Jangbi with his probe. That drone really wants to delay the scout here, it seems, by positioning the drone on that ramp. It will delay the scout significantly, and perhaps Zero will just use that drone to set up an expansion at the 5 o'clock base. And that guy loves someone. Good for him. Or he's saying someone loves someone. Fortunately, I do not know who. And Zero looking tense there. He's concentrating hard. Zero just using his drones in a sort of clever little fashion here. He's put down his expansion, it looks like, at the 3 o'clock base, in fact. And he has a drone blocking the front. He is posturing, sort of, to deny scouting information. Oh, not posturing. He is denying scouting information to Jangbi. He's posturing that he is doing something unexpected. This could work out very well. Jangbi, of course, has no choice but to put down the cannon first. But Zero has not gone for an early spawning pool. So this is actually quite clever by Zero. He has sacrificed a bit of his early economy by using so many drones just to deny scouting information. Jangbi doing a good job here stopping the drones from putting down expansion. Jangbi has cancelled the cannon. He is up to this. He's going to put down his Nexus first. Both players trying to mind game the other. I like this. That probe almost had gun be forced back. So Zero has gone for 3 hatch before pool, it looks like, trying to trick Jangbi there. I like that, but Jangbi not falling for it. He realizes that after the hatchery is going to go down and that no Zerglings were out, that this is not going to be anything particularly dastardly here coming out from Zero, and now Zero happy to let Jangbi into his base to see the 3 hatch before pool build. Jangbi knows what's going on. Jangbi, though, was forced to cancel a cannon. He didn't quite was able to put down his Nexus first. That is the correct response, 3 hatch before hatchery. But it is to be noted that Zero has sacrificed a few early drones, stopping them from mining, just to stop this information gathering from Jangbi. I actually like this move very much by Zero. Mind games are the key, I think, to these high-pressure matches. Throwing your opponent off even for a few seconds is the difference between victory and defeat. I feel at critical moments. At any rate, both players not being tricked, though. Jangbi, I have to say, playing very well. Lesser Zerg perhaps might have been quite cautious here, maybe even putting down 2 cannons, setting him, a lesser Protoss, I should say, would have been tricked, I feel, and maybe putting down 2 cannons, which is the response you're supposed to do to a 9 pool. Now, though, there is a cannon going down. Zella is out, perhaps going to do a bit of harass. I don't think it will amount to much. Zerglings will surely be morphed in time to deal with it. The Overlord at the front has spotted this. These Zerglings trying to surround the probe, picking it off. Nice work there by Zero. So it appears both players are playing fairly well at this time. Zero would be wise to get his drones mining at that 3 o'clock base. Zero can sometimes be a bit sloppy about that sort of stuff. Jangbi sending out another probe. He wants to know what's going on. Wisely so, I have to say. This is interesting. Zero taking a bit of a risk here. He has morphed his layer here at the 3 o'clock base, so he anticipates an attack there. He cannot afford to lose that base. Well, usually if the Zerg lose that base, it is GG anyway. But again, interesting note that he is morphed the layer here. There are quite a few Zerglings out to try to deal with the Zealot. The Zealot has blockaded itself there, doing very well. Going to be able to kill 2 Zerglings, it looks like. Maybe even get a drone. That's really what the Zealot wants. Zealot managing to survive here. Going to come around for another attack here on the drones. But Zero microing his drones. Oh, but the drone going down. Nice work by Jangbi, I have to say. Zero looking a bit annoyed there almost. And that drone stuck? This is an absolute disaster, I have to say. That Zealot took out 2 mining drones, I have to say. This is actually not very good. That drone managed to glitch itself into the back, so Jangbi's attack very successful, I have to say. Zero surely very annoyed by the early antics there, and that drone unable to get out without Overlord to lift it out. I don't think there is any way for it to escape. So things not going too well here for Zero. The Corsair is out to scout, opting not to kill that forward Overlord. Well, actually, okay, it's come back to kill that Overlord. Jangbi putting down a few extra cannons. The games he's lost, Jangbi hasn't made like too many mistakes. They were fairly small mistakes, I feel. That resulted in his losses. Nevertheless, Jangbi does have to play perfectly, I feel, to take on someone like Zero here. Zero rallying all sorts of forces in front. He already has Overlord speed. He is going to try to bust down this gateway here, maybe even try to pick away at the forge if possible. Though I believe he will need lurkers to do that. Zero really putting on a lot of pressure. He would be wise to retreat those 2 Hydralisks there. Ooh, sloppy play by Zero. There was no reason for him to lose those 2 Hydralisks. 2 Hydralisks are very valuable early on. This Overlord going to get taken out here. Zero would be wise to cover his Overlords with Hydras. Lots of Hydralisks being rallied to the front there. And Jangbi has put down many cannons to defend. A good maneuver here. As long as the Protoss can hold out and survive, they usually can get themselves into a decent position. Obviously, if their front is busted down, it would be an absolute disaster. That drone still twitching away there. Unfortunately so, there is an Overlord going into the main just to see what's going on there, and Zero might very well be upgrading drop. Actually, the Hydras are able to outrange the Forge, so that is very nice. Zero sees there is absolutely nothing in the main, and Jangbi is actually in a bit of danger here from a potential drop. Jangbi is getting a robotic support bay. He desperately wants Reavers out to deal with this early pressure here coming from Zero. Jangbi also has a few Corsairs. Corsairs and some ground troops should be able to defend with any sort of potential drop incoming, and a Reaver too would help greatly. Zero has doubled down here on this early Hydra bus. He actually is quite fond of doing this early on. Templar Archives coming out. I think the key here will come down to whether there will be sufficient defense by Zero for this drop, which I feel is what Zero is going to do. He surely is going to drop into main. There's no point in him trying to breach those cannons. There are too many cannons to assault here at the front. Jangbi putting down yet more cannons to defend himself. But a drop into main could be absolutely devastating. I still think Zero would be wise to put down Aspire and morph a few Scourge to try to take out the Corsairs. Those will be the biggest threat. Jangbi surely realizes now that what is going to happen is a drop incoming. Jangbi has rallied speed loss here in the main. Deal with this. He's putting out more gateways. He needs his Reaver out. Massive drop here incoming from 2 directions. I have to say, clever maneuver here. Jangbi going to drop from 2 directions. I don't know whether those Overlords actually have anything. If they had anything, they surely would have dropped. Okay, they are dropping here. A massive drop incoming by Zero. Those are a lot of Hydras, at least 20, but there is a Reaver out. That Reaver is going to be critical. Zero would be wise to emulate Yellow here and micro his Hydralisks to try to kill that Reaver. If that Reaver dies, it will be GG for Jangbi. That Reaver inflicting all sorts of casualties. All the Corsairs, it appears, has gone down. Zero needs to rally more reinforcements here or kill the Reaver. He has rallied a lot of reinforcements in front. Jangbi looking a bit desperate here. I mean, surely he realized the drop would be incoming. Zero is very successful here. He has a lot of Hydras in the main. Things are not hopeless, I would say, for Jangbi. He still has that Reaver. He can get a Shadow out and maybe another Reaver. And those would help his defense. Yes, there is a drop coming down here. Zero trying to micro his Hydralisks and the Overlords here. Not quite being successful. That Reaver with 8 kills. That's the only thing standing between defeat here for Jangbi. Standing between Jangbi and defeat. That solitary Reaver. More Zealots are coming out. Lurkers being morphed probably by the injured Hydralisk. Massive drop incoming here. The Shadow is out to try to help Jangbi micro. But I think Jangbi is too far gone now. There are too many Zerg units inside his base and he is just unable to cope with this. Oh, if only Jangbi had put down 3 cannons at his main, he probably would have warded this off. Lurkers now are incoming. I don't think Jangbi has a robotics observatory, I should say, not robotics observatory, but that solitary Reaver, absolutely hero Reaver plus the probes doing everything it can to fight this off. More reinforcements coming from Zero. His mouth is twitching a bit. I don't think he actually thinks he is in a good position. Zero perhaps a bit worried that his attack is going to come to naught. This is a brilliant attack, I have to say, and if Jangbi can survive this, and it looks like he will be able to survive it. Where is the Shadow and the Reaver? It might have gotten picked off by Hydralisk in the meantime. Zero, with a few Lurkers left, Jangbi would be wise to have Observer coming out soon to deal with the Lurkers. He is building Observatory. So, Zero actually still in full breach here of Jangbi's base. He's got some forces there. He's got numerous Lurkers and quite a few Hydralisks left. That Lurker needs to get out of the range of the cannon. And these Lurkers are going to be very effective against the Zealots, I have to say. Jangbi still in some danger here. If those pylons go down, things could be absolutely disastrous. 2 of the gateways will be unpowered. And Zero airlifting more reinforcements. Jangbi perhaps not going to be able to hold his defense here. Absolutely intense game coming from both players. Reaver again out Dark Templar here. Jangbi doing his best to use that single Reaver. Gonna lose 2 of his producing gateways, it looks like. Although, little reason for Zero to attack the unpowered gateways at this point. The Overlord is going to come and drop some Lurkers down near the probes in the natural. This Lurker could cause all sorts of havoc. That Lurker needs to die. 4 kills on that Lurker, and the probes are forced to stop mining here. There are Dark Templar out for Jangbi to try to hold this off. That Lurker with 6 kills. A Shadow with Dark Templar being loaded. Jangbi perhaps going for a counterattack. I'm not sure this is wise. He is not quite decisive here with what to do with that Shadow. His main has lost almost all the gateways, and I think Zero is going to ultimately take this game. Jangbi just does not have the production to deal with this. Zero has rallied Hydras to the front, it looks like, rather to his main base to defend against potential counterattack. Jangbi has dropped the Dark Templar out in the field. Going to drop the second one at the main, and this is just a brilliantly executed attack, I have to say. That Reaver firing backwards, kind of hilariously so. Dark Templar coming to the main. Where were Zero's forces that he rallied there to deal with this? I don't know what happened. I thought he rallied a few Hydras there to try to defend, but maybe not. Zero, it looks like, will be able to destroy all the buildings inside Jangbi's main, and there is a Overlord here to deal with this pesky Dark Templar. I think Zero will be able to defend without too much trouble, and Zero has dropped Hydralisk here on top of the cliff, and I don't think there is too much Jangbi can do about this. Jangbi's Dark Templars will finally be dealt with. And at this point, Zero surely has won the game with his airlift. Very close, I have to say. Jangbi, though, going down yet again. The games he lost were quite close here, but I mean, I don't know what I can say about Jangbi here. He did perform fairly admirably, perhaps doubling down a bit too much on the defenses at his front. If he had built 3 cannons in main, he probably would have won this game. I mean, Zero's drop was all in, and now Jangbi, his Reaver's unescorted. Not going to be able to do nearly good enough against these Hydralisks. That Reaver is, again, the only thing standing between him and defeat. That layer almost getting picked off by the Dark Templar. Jangbi is not really mining at this point. And Zero, though, is going to be able to comfortably re-establish mining and ultimately come out ahead here, I have to say. So this is going to be GG here for Jangbi. Zero, though, played very well, I have to say. Can't fault him much for his attacks. Brilliant 2-prong drop, too. That is something that is very clever. I thought maybe those Overlords might even be empty. Although then again, 2 Overlords with 4 Hydras coming from the south would do very little. So they were all loaded, and at the least I thought maybe if he lost an Overlord 2 in the front, it wouldn't matter so much. So that was just a brilliant attack here from Zero. Jangbi is going to lose this game. He's trying to counterattack with what he can, but Zero is content now to starve Jangbi and make sure he wins the game by rebuilding his economy. So Jangbi will surely be forced to GG, and an exciting set 1 on day 3, the playoffs between these two players. I have to say, Jangbi, again, I think he has played well, but I don't know. 3 cannons in the main, that's what he needed. And I just don't know what else Jangbi could have done, really. Maybe if he tried to preserve his Corsairs a bit better. I know he only had 2, but even 2 Corsairs can cause a lot of havoc. Jangbi microing his Reaver as best he can. He can't really send the Reaver to deal with those Hydralisks. He doesn't have Dragoons to try to shoot those Hydralisks down. And now the Hydralisk finally being airlifted out. Perhaps Zero has decided he's had enough of this. He's going to rally all his forces to try to make a decisive break here. Jangbi is going to be able to survive for a bit due to these 8 cannons defending his natural. Those are a lot of cannons, and it can hold back a good number of Hydralisks. More lurkers being dropped here in the back. There doesn't appear to be an observer out to spot, and Jangbi is just going to try to kill his own pro, using his splash damage to kill the lurker there. But all of these antics are going to be for naught here. Zero has massed up more forces at the front. Jangbi is down to about 5 or 6 probes mining minerals only. So it is impressive how long Jangbi has managed to survive. But it will not matter. GG coming from Jangbi. Well done by Zero. Very close game. Again, I can't blame Jangbi too much for his loss. I felt he played well going on to set 2.